Hello dear friends, myself Sunil Sonigra, and today we are going to discuss about the solution of GTU examination question paper from exam January 2012 in the subject of mechanical drafting. We solved up to question number 5A. Now question number 5B, which is asked for 2 marks. In 2 marks the question is asked like this: explain any one following AutoCAD command used in AutoCAD. Number 1 is chamfer, number 2 is copy. We have to explain these 2 commands, chamfer and copy. First is chamfer. This command is used to chamfer the corners. To chamfer means cutting the corners at an angle of 45 degree. Length of chamfer may be given to us, or the angle specification may be given to us from where it starts, like this. This is rectangle A. If we want to chamfer it, we have to draw lines like this, which makes at an angle of 45 degree and cuts these edges. Here this corner is chamfered, this corner is also chamfered. So after using this chamfer command, it would appear like this. These 2 portions would be trimmed out and it appears like this. If we chamfer this corner, then also here lines at an angle of 45 degree would be drawn like this. This is the rectangle without chamfer, and this is rectangle after employing this chamfer command. This is asked for 1 marks. And second is copy command. Of course, copy that we all know, to copy means to do the things which are written at some places, as in the examination. This command is used to copy any object. It can be used to copy line, arc, circle, H, P line, dimension, etc. as a specified distance from base point selected. To use this copy command, first we have to select the object which is to be copied, and after selecting the objects, we have to specify the first point or base point, and it will copy the object at a distance given from base point to specified points. Suppose this is an object or rectangle A, it may be circle, rectangle or triangular or whatever. We want to copy it, it can be copied like this. The same object to be drawn at certain distance. Here the base point is, suppose this is the base point and this is the selected object. The distance between the base point and specified end point is from here to here. If you specify this distance as a distance from base point, this rectangle will be copied like this. Now question number 5C, which is asked for 2 marks. Explain any one of the following commands used for AutoCAD. The one is move, second is rotate. We have to explain any one command which is asked for 2 marks. First, move. This command is used to move any object from initial position to any specified distance. For example, here object A is drawn. Earlier it is drawn like this. If you want to move it, it can be moved from here to here, like this. Here the difference between move and copy command is there. In case of copy command, the initial position remains as it is. But in case of move, this is initial position and this is the final position. So in case of move, the object is moved from one point to another point. So this command is used to move any object from initial position to any specified distance. And hence, in case of move, the original object will move from this place to this place. We can move in any direction. The second is rotate command. This command is used to rotate any object with respect to initial position, like this. This is an object. If we want to rotate this object, it could be drawn like this. A is the initial position and B is the position of this rectangle after rotating it with respect to x-axis and the angle of rotation is nearly 30 degree in this case. Similarly, this is triangle without rotation, and we can rotate this triangle like this. So after rotation it would appear like this. Hence rotate command can be used to rotate any object with respect to its original position, but its original position will be lapsed in case of rotate command. So this is the end of solution of exam January 2012, and now we will continue with the new examination, solution of exam January 2011. And in January 2011, few questions are there. The first question is asked like this. Question number 1A, which is asked for 5 marks. Figure 1 shows the plan and elevation of a hexagonal prism. Draw development of its lateral surface. Here the given diagram is like this. A hexagon is drawn above, so it's a third angle projection method, and it is cut in front view like this, and we have to develop its lateral surface. Lateral surface means this surface which is not base. The surface is other than the top face and bottom face, means both the ends is called as lateral surface. So if this hexagon is given to us, here side length is not given to us. We have to find out its side length by the given geometry. So for that, here this distance is given, that is 74 mm. So for that, how to draw this top view is also very important, because side length is not given, so it's difficult to draw this hexagon. If this kind of question is asked, the people forget to start how to start this problem. So it's very important how to start this problem. So let me draw this object over here. Here given data is like this. Two sides are given which are at a distance of 74 mm. So first of all, draw two lines at a distance of 74 mm from each other like this. And to find out the position of other points or side length of given object, what should we do? We have to pick up any one point. Suppose this is first point. On this vertical line, pick up 2 points, and from these 2 points draw length of any convenient length. We don't know what is the length of this line like this. Just we know the distance between these 2 points, which is given as 74 mm. Now from this point, as we know, this included angle in case of hexagon is 120 degree. So draw a line like this which makes an angle of 120 degree with this line. So that would be like this. We draw a light line. From this point the line may be extended like this. We don't know its actual length, so extend it somewhere here, right? And from this point also draw a line which makes an angle of 120 degree with the horizontal line, and both these line will cut at one point like this, somewhere here. Name that point as point number A. So this is our first point. Is it clear? First we have drawn two lines at a distance of 74 mm from each other like this. After that, from this point draw a line at an angle of 120 degree. This included angle is 120 degree. We need not to insert over here that dimension. This angle is also 120 degree. So from that draw two lines, and both these lines will cut at one point, that is point number A. Now after drawing this, we would be able to measure the side length of given hexagon. This is the side length of given hexagon. In this case it comes out to be equal to 42 millimeter. So 42 millimeter is the side length of this hexagon. So put this distance over here and complete this hexagon like this, or we may draw like this. Take B as a center, or this point as a center, B2A as a radius like this. Taking this as a radius, draw an arc like this, and that arc will cut this horizontal line at point C. So this is point B and this is point C. Similarly, we can find out position of other points by taking arc or drawing lines at an angle of 120 degree. Now we know length of the line, that is 42 mm. So we can complete this hexagon like this. Name the end points. It is point C, this is point D, this is point E, and this is point F. A, B, C, D, E and F, 6 endpoints are drawn. So this is the front view which is given in the data. Height 74 mm which is given in the data. This we have drawn. Now draw its top view, its front view, by taking projections from endpoints A, from C and from D. The distances are given to us. Total height is given as 98 mm. This height is 98 mm that we have to draw like this by showing these arrows. Total height is given as 98 mm, and here this angle is given 60 degree that we can draw like this. This shows the upper base of given hexagon, and this is the cut section which makes an angle of 30 degree with horizontal line or XY line. These two angles are given. This is 60 degree and this angle is given as 30 degree. So this is the lateral surface which we have to develop, and this portion is trimmed out or removed portion. So we have to lighten these lines. These lines should be drawn much lighter, and this is the edge of given hexagon. Now name the end points. Here point A dash is there, or we may name over here A dash. Here is point B dash. Here is point C dash, D dash, E dash, and back to F dash. 6 points are here. You may name points over here or points on this upper face: A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, E dash, and F dash. If you draw just this diagram, you may get 2 marks because it's very difficult to draw hexagon for this given situation. Now we think about the development of outer lateral surface of given problem. If this hexagon is not cut anywhere, then its development would appear as just a rectangle. So we draw a rectangle of given dimension. We know its side length, that is 42 mm. So draw 6 rectangles having side length is equal to 42 mm and height is equal to 98 mm as shown here. So here its rectangle would appear like this. This is the height. Height is known to us, that is 98 mm, and total width is known to us, that is width of one rectangle is 42. So total 42 into 6 would be the total width of this developed rectangle. So this rectangle represents the outer surface development of given hexagonal prism if it is not cut anywhere. If it is not cut, then its development would appear just as a rectangle having height is equal to 98 mm, this height, and width is equal to 42 into 6, and divide this 42 into 6 into 6 equal parts. So these 6 edges are there. So width of each rectangle over here is equal to the side length of given hexagon, like this. So this rectangle represents development of given hexagonal prism if it is not cut anywhere. And name the end points. Here suppose this is point A, this is point B, C, D, E, F, and back to A. These are the end points. Now pick up the points of intersection between cutting plane and these edges. Now let me start from here, from this bottom, here or here. Here this point is on intersection of this cutting plane and generator A or edge A. This is the point on A. Here A point is there. So from this point take projection, means draw a horizontal line or projection line from this point, which is the intersection of cutting plane and this vertical edge. Draw horizontal line, and that horizontal line like this, that will cut projection from point A at this point. So this is our first point. Name this point as point P1, like this. This is point number P1. Similarly, to find out position of point number 2, which is over here on B, this is point P2. So from this point draw horizontal line like this, and this line like this, and this line will cut B at one point. say over here. So this is position of point number P2, like this. This is point P2. So we have identified point number P1, P2. Similarly P3 would be here. It is on C dash. So from this point, draw horizontal line, transfer that point to C like this, draw horizontal line like this, and that will cut OC over here, OC at this point. And this is the point P3. Name that point as point number P3. Similarly, point number P4, where would be point number P4? We started from here, 1, 2, 3, 4 point is here. It is on D dash bottom point. So transfer it, that point from here, so it will cut D at this point. So here is point number P4, somewhere here. Now about P5, where will be P5? So let me come here, 5 is on E point is here. So from here, draw horizontal line and transfer that line to E, like this. Horizontal line from that point and transfer this point over here, that will cut OE at one point. So this is the point on OE, somewhere here on OE. Here point OE is there. So transfer this point over here, and this is point E. Similarly, from this end point on F, this is the point on F. So from here, draw horizontal line, and that will cut F at this point, somewhere here. So this is next another point. Here this is point P4. This is point P5. This is point P6. And back to P1 over here. So for that, draw horizontal line from this point 1, and that will cut OA or A generator at one point, and this is point P1. Back to P1. So we have identified all these points. Now join all these points with a straight line. Here the prism is given and the cutting planes, all cutting planes are straight lines. Hence we have to join all these points with straight line only.